Free screen video record. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So today inshallah we are going to take, this is our meeting 3 in which we are going to talk about algorithms and control statements. So today what you are going to learn here is from any given question how to write a program. Okay, from any given question. For example, given is a question to calculate the area of a circle. So for the area of the circle, you should know what is the formula to calculate the area of the circle. You should know what is the input, what you need to calculate the area of the circle, and you should know what is the output to calculate, or what is the output, that is the area of the circle. So here you see basically things which are input, that is what is needed to calculate the area, input, processing, that is formula to calculate the area of the circle, and the output, that is giving the result, giving the area of the circle. After you have the input and doing the processing, you give the output, right? 3 things you have here. Now in our previous classes we have seen how to take the input from the user by using the scanner object, right? And different types of input you can take. You can take integer output input, or double, or character. You have float. Okay, different kinds of inputs to take in, and their functions, how to take it from this scanner object. Today we will see, we'll start with the algorithm. First of all, we'll see what is an algorithm. Basically, algorithm is a procedure to solve any problem. To solve a given problem, okay, algorithm is a procedure. Procedure we mean here is a step-by-step procedure. That is the steps to solve the problem. We call it as an algorithm. For example, if it is asked you to write an algorithm to the problem of, or to make a cup of tea. Now what is the procedure to make a cup of tea? So you have some steps. Step number 1, you take water and you boil the water. You take the milk, add the milk to the water, then add the tea leaves or coffee, add the sugar as required, mix it, the tea is ready. So you have some 5-6 steps to make a cup of tea. This is a procedure. So for any problem, this procedure, which is written using our normal English language, step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this is called algorithm. This is called algorithm. Now here algorithm can be represented using pseudocodes, that is the text representation, writing the steps in text, in words. The other is the UML activity diagram, a graphical representation, by using some graph or by using some symbols, you write it, right? So there are 2 things over here in algorithm. The pseudocode. The pseudocode is an informal language that helps you to develop the algorithm without having to worry about the syntax of the language or the rules of the language. Just you know the English, you can write the steps one by one. Okay. Once you write this pseudocode, you can easily convert that pseudocode into the program because you have the steps. So once you have the steps, you can write for any particular step what is the Java statement. For step number 1, what is the Java statement. For step number 2, what is the Java statement. Through these steps, you can write the Java program. Fine. Now here is an example for UML diagram. UML diagram is that shows the workflow, that how the steps are going on, how the flow is going on, which steps then from 1 to 2, 2 to 3, Okay, yeah, in order by directions or by lines as you see in this graph. Okay, this is called an activity diagram. Let us take an example that write an application that input from the user radius of a circle as a real number. So input is a real number. So what data type you will take for real number? What is the data type? Real number. Double you will take. Double is the, so here you have to take the variable radius that is of type double. Okay, and print the circle diameter, circumference, and the area. Yes, the first thing is diameter. You want the diameter. So diameter is also double because you will get point values in this. Circumference is also, and the area rounded to two decimal places. This is the given problem, and this kind of questions you will get in your exam. In your midterm exam, you will have one question like this. This will not give you three things; it will give you just one thing, just the area of a circle or diameter of a circle. And also in your quiz, you will find this kind of question. Hmm? Diameter, yeah, yeah, yeah. No, that is the radius. The round is the diameter. Circumference. Fine. So let us see this, the pseudocode for this one. First of all, we need the radius, right? So the pseudocode first we write, ask the user, prompt the user to enter the value of the radius of the circle. This is first input what we need. Then read the value of the radius and store it. Store it in a variable called radius, for example. Then calculate the diameter and store it. Calculate the circumference, store it. Calculate the area, store it. Yeah, and then print the diameter, print the circumference, and print the area. So you have the clear steps here. From these clear steps, you can write the Java program, right? So the Java this is an activity diagram for the same. We start from the user, just we put in some figure. No, no, no. Sometimes it will ask in the exam only the algorithm or activity diagram. It's nothing. You just write the steps, and that steps you put it in this type of figure. That is done. لا لا لا. بس step by steps. Step by step. There is no nothing specific. Nothing specific format. It is a step by step to solve the problem. That's it. Fine. Now from this we can easily write the Java program as you can see on on this screen. Sorry? Yeah, it's easy program. What's there in this? You have these steps. See what is there from this one? You have the steps. So let us write the program. I have many projects here. Hmm? No, I don't. I don't. I will write it now. New Java class. The name of the class. Let's say calculate circle, or I'll just say area of circle. This is our class name. Now from the class name, what you have to write? First thing, main method, public static void main of string arguments. Fine. The next you need, you have the input from the, no, you have the input from the user, right? So for the input you need what? You need a scanner object. So we write a scanner input is equal to new scanner of system dot in. Fine. But this you see scanner is not defined. So I need to import it what? Import java.util.scanner or java.util.star. Fine. Yeah, all classes inside the util package. Star means. Now the next is we'll look into what kind of variables we need. We have the input, that is radius of type. What type of input it was? The radius. Real number. No, what type of input it is? What type of data? Double. So it is double variable. We need a radius as double, and we need circumference. I'll write it as circum, and we need diameter. I'll write it as dia, and we need area. Area. So all these variables we need to do our program, right? First of all, what is required is ask the user, prompt the user to enter the radius. So we write system dot out dot println, or you can format it like this, enter the radius. So how you will take the radius? Radius is equal to in, that is the object dot next double, will take you the double value into the radius. Now after this you have to calculate the, after enter you calculate the area, calculate the circumference, and calculate the diameter. Sorry, which one? Next double. Next double here function. Here function min class al scanner. It is coming along with the scanner class. In is an object of scanner. So in dot next double, it is to read the double value from the keyboard. Like this we have many next. I'll just show you in dot next. You will see you have next, next double, next byte, next boolean, next double float, next int, next line, or just next. These are all the methods from which you can write different types, or you can read different types of value from the keyboard. Next double is to read the double value. If you say next int, it is to read the integer value. If you say next float, float value. Next boolean, boolean value. Yeah, true, false. If you say just next, only next, it is one word string. Next line, one line string. Okay, so there are many different next. Fine. Coming to this program, we did read the value. After reading, we have to calculate the circumference, a diameter, and the area. Let us calculate the diameter. Diameter is equal to, what is the formula for diameter? You see this? 2 into pi. Yeah, pi we can get from math class, math.pi. This will give us the pi value, that is 3.1415 something. Okay, then into 2 diameter of a circle. What is the formula? 2 pi r, or just 2 pi? Just 2 pi? 2 pi r wala 2 r? Mafi pi. 2 r, 2 into radius. R is radius here. Okay, so 2 into radius will give us what? The diameter. The next is circumference. So circumference is equal to, what is the formula? 2 into pi math dot pi into radius. R is the radius. Fine, we have to write whole radius. What is the variable we declare? We have to follow that. If you are just writing R, you write R. Then area. Area is equal to pi r square. Math dot pi into r square. R square can be written as r into r. That is, yeah, that is can be radius into radius. Or you can write into math dot power of the radius by 2. It is power function is something like this. If you write a power function, it will be something, it is radius square. So this power function will tell this radius r comma 2, it means 2 square. Sorry, r square. If you say 3, it will be r cube. So whatever the number is the power here. Fine. So it comes in the class math dot power. Or you can write it as r into r. This is also true. Okay. Now we did all the calculations. After the calculations, what we have to do? We have to print. So in our question, the question says that yeah, and print them rounded to 2 decimal places. Rounded to 2 decimal places. Yeah. So when there is a rounding, it means we have to use printf, formatted output. Fine. So formatted output should be used here. So we'll use system dot out dot printf of the message. For example, the diameter of a circle is percentage 2 2f. It means 2 decimal place. It means 0.2f. 0.2f, it means after the point 2 digits. Fine. Now after this, what we have to print? We have to print the diameter. Fine. The same we have to write for circumference. Printf the circumference of the circle is percentage 0.2f circum, and system dot out dot printf of the area of circle is percentage 0.2f comma area. Okay. Yes. A with the diameter, it will print here. This one 0.2f, actually point percentage f is for diameter. 0.2 why we include? Because in our question it is says rounded to 2 decimal places. It means after the point 2 decimal place, 2 digits. Yeah, Badal Fasla. Okay, that's what we need it here. So let us run this program and see what we can have. So enter the radius. For example, I'll enter the radius 2.0. So you should get the diameter of the circle 4.0, the circumference 12.57, and the area 12.57. Sorry. Now we have in the same line, to move it into the next line, we can use a slash n. Slash n. Yeah. So enter the radius 2.5, the diameter is 5, the circumference 15.71 and the area 19.63. Clear? You got how to do this? So with this program it should be clear to you that how to write any program with a given formula. With a given formula, how to write the program. This program you have the formula program you have in your midterm exam, MTA, you have in the quiz, also you have in the project. It is only the formula there which is given to you and you have to implement that formula. No, formula is given, just you have to know how to write it in Java. قانون الفورمولا كلها موجودة في السؤال. حول إلى كود. يعني السؤال زي كذا، سؤال زي هذا مثلا. ايوه بس موجود في السؤال. طيب this is not mathematics course عشان اخلي الفورمولا وبعدين انتوا يكتبوا في الفورمولا ماشي. Fine. Now we talk about the math class. What we have used here, we have seen math.pi and math.power, and point to f, you know about this point to f. Math.pi is equivalent to the pi value 3.145, okay, and math.power is a power function, okay, power function. In Java, this math class is available to all the programs because it is in the package called java.lang. Java.lang, L-A-N-G, lang. This package is available to all the programs. All your system.out.println, these are all comes from this package. But if you need a scanner here, what you will do? Or if you need a scanner, you will import that scanner, right? Java.util.scanner. But if you need a math, you don't import anything because it is by default available for all programs, okay, in Java. So this is about the math class. Other functions related to the math class are here. From these functions, you will get one or two function in your multiple choice question. What is the functionality or what is the output in your multiple choice? Most probably you will get either seal or you will get a floor. Seal or floor. Now let us see some of these functions. Absolute of x. What is absolute function in maths? It will remove the sign. Yeah. So it will remove the sign and give you the value only. Yeah. Then seal. What is seal? تقريب فين? Round the x to the smallest integer not less than x. Round the x to the smallest integer not less than x. Yes. Yes. For example, seal of 9.2 is 10.0. Yeah. And it is like seal. You have this is seal and this is floor. Seal is always up. So you have to take one integer up, okay, not less than 9.2. So it is the rounded decimal is 10.0. Fine. Seal of minus 9.8 is minus 9. Because it is a minus value, so minus 9 is bigger than minus 9.8. 9.5 is 10. Seal of 9.5 is 10. Seal, it will give you the highest value. And see, seal will give you the high value. For example, 9.2. So it is between 9 and 10. Which is the highest here? 10. Yeah. For minus it is minus 9.8. Minus 9 is highest, minus 10 here. So it is minus 9 is the highest. Okay. So it is give you 9. If you have 9.5, it is again 10. Seal. Then you have cos, this is an trigonometric cos, exponent, floor. this floor is opposite to seal, it will give you the lesser value. For example, here floor of 9.2 is 9 and floor of minus 9.8 is minus 10. Okay, then you have log value max of two values, maximum of two values, minimum of two values by min. Power, we have used this power values, x to the power of y, then sine, then square root. This square root of x will give you the square root, what you call in Arabic, yes, square root of x. This will give you by square root. Then you have a tan. In your programs, no, you don't have to remember this tan and sine cos. You just remember these seal. Yeah, talk about seal, floor, max, minimum, power, and square root. Max, minimum, you know. Max, min, two values it will take. It will give you the maximum and the minimum. Sine, cosine will not come to you. Okay, exponent will not come to you. Fine. These are some mathematical functions available to you in Java. Now, whenever we want to write, we also have this round function. This is rounding the value. For example, round of 3.5 is 4. But round of 3 point less than 3.5 is 3. Right? This is rounding the values. Fine. Now, you will have one question on this about writing a Java statement for the given formula. This is a given formula. Yeah. This is a formula, given formula. It is minus b, x is equal to minus b plus square root of b square minus 4ac divided by 2a. Write this equation using Java. How do you write this? These are all declared variables. So you say x is equal to minus b plus you have square root, right? Square root of math dot sqrt, because in Java there is no square root. You have to use this function math dot sqrt. Square root of b square is math dot power of b comma 2. So this is got b square minus 4ac minus 4 into a into c. This is whole divided by 2a, 2 into a in brackets. So it comes in one line. It comes in one line. This will be one question for you in your midterm exam, asking you to write the given formula in. Yes. في missing هنا واحد اثنين لا مش missing ثلاثة ولا اثنين مظبوط ايوه سطر واحد نفسه لازم يجي سطر واحد كيف اكتب ان اثنين سطر في الجافا ستيتمنت يعني. So this formula when you write in Java, so definitely it comes in one line. For example, let us write it here. So it is x is equal to, it is minus b plus math dot square root of sqrt, square root of math dot power b square, it is math dot power of b comma 2 math dot minus 4 into a into c minus 4ac divided by 2 into a. This is how you write it. Fine. Yeah, this is not required. Just we just write it for example here. Yeah. Abdullah. You have to write it as we wrote here. Fine. Fine. The next, you got how to write the formulas in Java. The next we have is the compound assignment operator. In Java, we have an assignment operator called compound assignment operator, which is something like this: plus equals, minus equals, into equals, okay, division equals. Fine. So how this will work? For example, you have, let's say you have a variable c which is equal to 4. C equals 4. So if I say C plus equals 5, what is the value of C? C plus equals 5. It's a compound assignment. Yeah, C, it is equal to, C is equal to C plus 5. Arba zayat khamsa. It is 4 plus 5. So C will be 9. This is called compound assignment. Compound assignment operator. It is equal to this one. C is equal to C plus 5. And you are writing in a short form. You are writing in a short form. So there are different compound statements here. You see plus equals, minus equals, into, division, and yeah. So it comes in the same line, which is equal to what is given over here. C plus equals 7 is equal to C plus 7. Okay. So add the 7 to C and give the new value. Fine. This is called compound statements in Java. The next comes the increment and the decrement operators. You know about this increment and decrement operator. So in Java we have this increment operator, increment plus plus, and we have decrement minus minus. Hmm? Yeah, same, yeah. So we have a pre-increment and pre-decrement, and we have post-increment and post-decrement, both. Okay. Plus plus will increment the value by 1, and minus minus will decrement the value by 1. For example, we have a variable c is equal to 5. C plus plus will make this 5 increment by 1, add 1. So it will make it 6. And if you have a c is equal to 5 here, and c minus minus will make it 4. No, we'll come to that. We'll come to that. We'll come to that. So now I'm just giving you the idea that minus minus it means decrement by 1, plus plus it means, yeah, yes, like we use in the for loop I plus plus. You have used in M105, M107. Fine. Now in this plus plus and minus minus, we have pre-increment and pre-decrement, and we have post-increment and post-decrement. For this I will take an example here. Let us say these are the x and y. X is equal to 5 and y is equal to 0. Fine. I'll say y is equal to x plus plus. Now give me the value of x and y after this statement. Y is how much? X5. Initially x is 5, and we say y is equal to x plus plus. What is the value of y? Y is 6 and x is 6. Is it true? X5, Y5. Where is the increment then? لا تابع خلي هذا انا بقول لك ايش الفاليو بعد الستيتمنتس هذا. ايش الفاليو، ايش القيمه تبع الاكس ولا ايش القيمه تبع الواي بعد الستيتمنت هذا، بعد executing هذا الستيتمنت. x is equal to 5 and y is 6. ايوه عشان كده بقول لك ايش الفرق هنا، ايش الفاليو الاكس وايش الفاليو الواي. x 5 and y 5 اكيد. No. Why? No. See, this is post increment. This is called post increment. Post mana ish bad. Bad evaluation. So first x is how much? Initially x is خمسة. خمسة أخذ إلى y. y هيكون خمسة. اوكي. بعدين في بلس بلس يزيد بلس بلس هيكون y x ستة. y 6. انت قلت y 6. طيب الواي 5 واكس 6. كيف؟ لانه هذا بوست انكريمنت. this is سموه بوست انكريمنت. بوست انكريمنت بمعنى انه it means do the increment after the assignment or after the evaluation. For it will first take no, y will be 5. It will take the x value to the y. What is the initial x value? 5. So it will take 5 to the y. Then it will go to increment. Go to increment it x by 1. So x become from 5 to 6. So x will be 6. So it will be, you can check it. Yeah. ممكن. يتبع 5 بس إذا كتبنا. ايوه لانه فاست ايش؟ فاست الاكشن. لا فاست الاساينمنت بعدين اكشن. فاتبع اول وبعدين يزيد. لا ما هيكون 5. يزيد هيكون 6. نجرب. public static void main of string arguments. We have int c is equal to 5 or x is equal to 5. Okay, and I say y int y is equal to x plus plus or y 0. Okay, I'll put it y is equal to 0 and I'll put y is equal to x plus plus. Now print x and y. System dot out dot println of, I'll print first x, the x value, okay, plus, and then I will print y. So first value is x and the second value is a, or I'll put a statement here. X is plus x and slash n y is plus y. دقيقة بس. شوف x6 y5 x6 y5. ليش؟ لأنه أول أخذ value حق x إلى y. This is post increment. This is called post increment. I'll come to it. You want to check over here system.out.println and I'll say x plus plus. Now what is the value of x? What is the value of, what the value it will print and what will be the value of x? Print what? Will print 5 and but the value later it will change to x. Yeah. It will print 5. But if you print after this again, you will get 6. Yeah. Now you print after this, you will get 6. Why? Because here it is first printed, then increment. Because it is post increment. The plus plus after the variable, it is post increment. So here it will increment. Then after this, if you see, you will get 6 because after it will increment and it will print 6. Fine. This is called post increment. But if you say like this, for example, if I say y is equal to plus x, then what is x and what is y? This is pre-increment, and a first plus then x, x 6 and y is also 6, because it will first increment, first print plus, so it first increment, then it will assign. So when it increment, it becomes 6, so it will assign 6 to y. Yes. Clear? Not clear. طيب. So this is called pre-increment. Pre-increment, first it will increment the variable by 1 and then assign the value. But whereas in post-increment x plus, first it will assign the value, that is 5, and then it will increment, it will become 6. Yes. Okay. Now in the same fashion you have minus. So if you have, for example, x is equal to 5, y is equal to 0. If you have y is equal to x minus, so what is the value of x and y? Y will be huh? x4 y5, because first it will take the value of x into y, that is 5, the first value, then it will do the minus, it will become 4, so x4 y5. And in the same fashion, if I say y is equal to minus x, pre-decrement, this is called pre-decrement. So here it will be 4 and 4, because it will first decrement, it will make 4, and that decrement is assigned to y.
زائد او ناقص لما تكون نهايه يعني الاكس والواي تساوي دائما.
Yes.
اوكي الاكس 4 بس الواي ليش طيب؟
فين؟ هنا؟ واي فاي. طيب.
الاكس 4 اوكي بس الواي ليش
y is equal to x minus.
الاكس راح
ايوه. شوف هنا الماينس بعد الاكس، هذا يسموه بوست ديكريمنت، يعني بوست بعدين. اوكي. فاول شيء اخذ اساوي الى واي، يعني ايش الفاليو اساسي حق الاكس؟
فاليو اساس
5، اخذ 5 الى واي، فواي هيكون 5، وبعدين سوي ماينس هيكون 4. فنفس الشيء في البلس.
لما تكون بالعكس
لما يكون بالعكس هيكون اول عمليه انه 4 والواي 4، يعني اسوي عمليه يكون 4 ف4 الى y. Okay, this is called decrement. So you have increment and decrement operator, post increment and post decrement, and pre increment and pre decrement. Fine, that's all about your increment and decrement operators. The next we'll see control structures. See, in our program sometimes we need to take the control from one statement to another statement based on some conditions. For example, it says in the program that to calculate the area of circle given radius. So here your program is to calculate area of the circle given is the radius. Okay. Now it says that if radius is less than or equal to 0, if radius is less than or equal to 0, print error message or invalid input, because we want in our program that radius should be greater than 0. For any circle the radius is always greater than 0. So if it is less than 0, the radius less than 0, it means it is invalid input. Yeah, you need to print it is invalid input. If it is not, then you have to calculate the area of the circle. Okay. Now here there is a selection based on the condition. The condition is that the radius is less than or equal to 0. If it is less than or equal to 0, then what we will make? We will print an error. We will say no, there is an invalid input. If it is not that, then what we'll do? We calculate the area. For example, in our program, in this program, we enter the radius. Here we are going to enter the radius. Fine. Now after this, we check, if we want, we check if radius is less than or equal to 0.0. If it is less than or equal to 0.0, then we have to give a message that the invalid input, this input is not correct. Fine. Legal start of expression. Fine. Else we do these calculations. If not, we are going to do this calculations. Here's the problem. Now enter the radius. If I enter 0, okay. Yeah. Fine. لا لا ما في. ايوه انا حطيت comment هذا هو. Now what you are doing here, you are making a selection here. You are making a selection based on this condition. If this condition is true, if it is correct, it will say invalid input. If this condition is not true, which means radius is greater than 0, it will do the calculations, right? So like this, we need here, what we are doing is we are transferring the control from here to here. If it is greater than 0, if it is less than 0, we are transferring the control here and skipping all this, so when you run this one and say radius 0, you say invalid input. Fine. But if you give some valid radius, what you will get? You will get the results. Okay, so you are skipping one based on some condition. Okay, these type of conditions or this kind of statement, we call it as an control structures. In control structures, there is a transfer of control from the statement. In control structures, we have the selection and we have repetition. Two types, selection and repetition. In control structures, we have selection and number 2, repetition. Fine. In selection, we have if, that what we have seen, the simple if, we have if else, we have if else if. Listen, if else and if else if, and we have switch. And in looping and repetition, we have for, while and do while. In looping. For today's class, inshallah, we'll try to take the selection. Okay, in selection we have simple if, we have if else if, and switch. Okay, so you will have one program in your exam about this selection statement, from the selection statement, because for your midterm exam is up to selection. Okay, so from the selection statement you have one program. Now fine, this gives about the simple if, it is just a single selection based on the condition. Okay, so the program you can say single selection program, uh, we can write a program for this. For a single selection, we say simple if program, public static void main of string arguments. So let's say I have a number int x is equal to 10. I want to check whether this number is odd or even, or it is an even number. I want to print it. Fine. So if I say if x mod 2 is equal to 0, it means it is an even number. So I'll print system dot out dot println x is even number. Fine. Or if you want to print the number itself, x plus is even number. Fine. Now in this program you are just printing that the 10 is an even number. Okay. This is called simple if. Simple if work on a single condition. If the condition is true, this statement is executed. If the condition is not true, it will not execute any statement. For example, if I have system.out.println at the end as thank you, fine. Now I'll make it 9. So it is not true that 9 is an even number. So I'll just get a message thank you. Okay. Whereas if this condition is true, then this is also executed, then it will print thank you. Yeah, you can ask the user to enter the value of x. Okay, that will be much better. For example, we'll take that scanner from here and ask the user to enter the value of x, and you can read the value of x. Fine. And here you ask the user system dot out dot println, yeah, enter the value of x. Fine. So after that you enter the value of x into x. X is equal to in dot next int or double. This is an integer variable, so we'll take next in. Okay. Now it will check. It will ask you to enter the value of x. It'll take out this value of x. Enter the value of x. For example, I'll enter 9. So you just have a thank you. This is simple if. So if you want if else, and if you want to check whether it is odd or even, if it is not odd, it is even, right? So I will say we can use that else part. System dot out dot println x is odd number. Now here you whatever you enter the value, you have the result. Okay, this is called if else statement. Fine. To create this statement condition for the if, we need to have these the relational operators, that is less than, greater than, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to and not equal to. These are relational operators.
ممكن بس نرجع لورا الاود والايفن.
Hmm.
طب ليش شلون الاف ستيتمنت تعتبر امر طباعه؟
Hmm.
طباعه ايوه هذا امر طباعه.
ايوه امر
سيستم
تبع
اوت. طب ليش الاود نمبر تحطهم اوت؟
system that out.
الكونديشن
Hmm.
لحال والامر طباعه لحال.
ايوه هذا امر تبع.
ليش حطوا بنفس سيم لاين؟
فين حطينا same line؟
الالس سيستم دوت اوت برنت ان اكس
Yeah.
از اود نمبر والفور از ايفن.
Hmm.
الامر هون طباعه ايش؟
هو ايش هذا؟
امر طباعه لحاله ولا الشرط لحاله؟ كونديشن لحاله ولا
تحت الكنديشن. لا هي عمر التبع بما انه انتم system.out.println هذا تحت الكنديشن. يعني اذا الشرط هذا كنديشن الشرط اذا صح اخذ هذا اتبع هذا. اذا false this is false اخذ ال else and I skip the first one اخذ ال else part. Fine. Fine. Now here we have different operators for this comparison. We have equal to, not equal to, greater than, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to. We have to write this in this fashion in Java. This is general. Equal, not equal, less than, greater than or equal to, less than. In Java it is like this. Double equals, not equal, greater than, greater than or equal to, less than or equal. These are all used in making condition. Like we saw here condition equal to x mod 2 equal to 0, and here we saw the condition less than or equal to 0. Fine. So this is a conditional operators. Now there is an example for simple if here. If student grade is greater than or equal to 60, passed. Okay, so if this is true, that is student grade is greater than or equal to 60, it will print pass. So if you want to go for another option of fail, which is if it is less than 60, so it says else part, we will take the else part. This is called double selection. Double selection. Yeah, same as JavaScript, and all programming languages has this same format. Okay. Now the pseudocode, this is the UML diagram. This is simple if. If the condition is true, the condition is written is like this in the UML diagram, activity diagram. If the condition is true, it will print pass and come out. If it is false, it will directly come out. And here it is if else. If it is true, print pass and come out. False, print fail and come out. Okay? Yeah. The next we have a conditional operator also called ternary operator. This is a shorthand for the if else. Shorthand for the if else. This can be written for any if else statement, we can write this ternary operator. For example, we say string result is equal to student grade greater than 60, pass, fail with a question mark and a semicolon. Right? Now how it will execute, this is like else. This is question mark is asking the condition true or false. Okay, so how it will work, first it will check this condition. It will check the, if it is true, this is asking a question whether it is true or false. If it is true, the first statement is assigned to the result, that is passed. Yeah, if it is true. And if it is false, it is the second statement after the colon will be assigned to result. And then it will print the result, that is pass or fail. Okay. So yeah, this is the shortest form. In your exam, you may get a question. They'll give you the if else and ask you to write by using the ternary operator or conditional operator by using question mark and colon. Or they will give you the code by using question mark and the colon and ask you to write in if else. Ask you to write in if else. For example, for our problem here of odd even, we can write this ternary operator. Right? So odd even is a string output, whether odd even is a string. So we need a string variable, a string result to store the string. So our condition is that x mod 2 is equal to 0. This is our condition, question mark to the question. If this condition is true, what you have to give? You have to give even. If this is false, what you have to give? You have to give odd. So you write the both. And then you print the result. There is no else in this. There is no else. I'll comment this. Yeah. Now after this you print the result. Now you print the result system dot out dot println x is plus result number. So you see how you will get the output. For example, I enter 10. 10 is even number. So how it comes? It will check 10 mod 2 is equal to 0. It is true. So it will take the string even to the result. And it will print x, that is 10 is result, that is even number. Okay. Also you can check like this with another input. For example, 9. 9 is odd number. So here it is a false condition. So it will check the condition. It is false. It will take odd to the result and it will print x, that is 9 is odd number. Clear? So in the exam they'll give you the if statement, if else, and ask you to write the ternary, or they'll give you the ternary and ask you to write the if else. Yeah, string is just to take the result into the string and print it.
ممكن يجي بس find the output.
Yeah, just not in finding output. It is in part 2 questions. Yeah, in the question. This is called a ternary operator. A غير switch. Now, sometimes in a block we need to put more than one statement. For example, if grade greater than 60, system.out.println passed, nice. We want to print more than one statement, or we want to have under the if more than one statement, and under the else more than one statement. In this case, what we have to do that statements to be put inside the brackets. You make it block. How? For example, we'll take it here, the if else part. It says that if it is an even number, okay, let's say that you want to print you win. For example, if the number is even, you want to print like you win. Okay, and if it is an odd number, you want to print like system.out.println you lost. And one more statement, for example, try again, or try again, something like this. Now you see under the if and under the else there are more than one statement, but if you run this one you will not get the exact output. For example, 10 is an even number, you win, and you have some error. Why? Because it will print this one. Let's go for an odd number, 9. You win, but you did not win. For 9 it is you lost for odd number. So now here the problem is making the blocks. So under the if, what you want, if it is more than one statement, you have to put that in a block, on a block. So this block will be considered under the if. If this is true, this whole block will be executed. And for else, again you have to put that into a block. Yes. If it is one line, no need to put the block. If you put, it's okay. If you don't put, it's okay. If it is more than one line, you have to put in a block. Okay. So now in this case, you will get the correct output. For example, 10, you win, thank you. And for odd number, 9, you lost, try again, thank you. So this is to explain that where we have to use this brackets, a block in the if else. Fine. The next, we'll come to the testing the string equality. For the string, we can test the equality of two strings. Okay, if both strings are equal, we'll say both are equal or not, with the help of the equals function. So it is testing the string equality with the help of the equal function. It will check the character by character. It is called lexicographical comparison, character by character comparison. So if, for example, string word 1 is equal to s, word 2 is equal to no. He said if x word 1 dot equals of s, it means true, because word 1 is s and what is given here is s. So capital Y, E S S. So both are equal, so it will return true. If I say here not equal of word 1, not word 2, and a word 2, word 1 is not equal to word 2, it is also true, because word 1 is yes, word 2 is no, they are not equal. Okay, so it will return true. We also use this equal operator. This equal operator is to check that two strings are the same object or from the same object. Okay, and but here this equals function is used to check the content of the string or the characters inside the string, both are same or not. The next we'll talk about the compile errors. Y small, it is not equal, because y capital, y small is different. Return false. It will return false. Yeah, you can print something there. They are not equal. If it is true, you print system.out.println they are equal. Else they are not equal. Yeah. ايه في برنامج احيانا يجيك السترينج بشوف هل السترينج هي نفس السترينج، مثلا بيسال اليوزر انه ادخل سترينج، فيبغى اشوف هل السترينج دخلت باليوزر هي نفس السترينج ولا ما. فاذا ايوه، فيكون دوت ايكوالز فانكشن، ممكن يستخدم دوت ايكوال فانكشن عشان نشوف هي نفس السترينج دخلت ولا لا. Now what is the difference between equals and double equals? See, this equals, yeah, this equals is to check the characters, character by character, and this equal is to check the object. Object, it means that when you create a string variable, that is the objects, they are not the variables like int, double, they are the objects. When you create this objects in Java, there is a reference type. When you create a string object, for example string x, so this string x in memory has a reference to the area where the x is stored. For example, x is equal to s, so s will be stored here, and this x has a reference to this. If I say, for example, string y is equal to x, y is equal to x, y is also has a reference to the same s, now in this fashion x and y, they are equal, it means they are referring to the same object. So when you say x is equal to y, it is true, because they are referring to the same object.
يعني value بتدل على value
مش value.
equals بتدل على value أو operator.
لا this is operator, and there it will check the reference where it is referring. They are referring to the same object. I will take another example. If I say, for example, string x is equal to s, so in memory there is a x and it is referring to the value s, and if I say string y is equal to s, then in the memory there is a y referring to the value s. Both are same, x and y, they are same, okay, but they are referring to different object. This is different object, this is different object. So if I say here x is equal to y, this will return false. Why? Because they are referring to two different objects. So this equal will check whether they are referring to the same object or not. But equals, dot equals, if I say x dot equals of y, this will give me true. Why? Because their content S and S both are same. Both are same. So this equals will check the contents, whereas this equals will check the objects. They are referring to the same or not. So in our first case, they are referring to the same object. So this equal will give you true. And also x dot equals of y will also give you true because having the same content. By using this one, here what we did? Here we did a string, yes, and here y. Two different variables. Declared two different. Yeah, different line, different initialization. Different initialization. So when it is two different initialization, there are two different objects. Hmm. Yeah, string x and y يساوي x. يعني x وين هنا يساوي نفس الواي. اوكي.
يعني هو اكس تساوي واي تساوي يس. هنيك اكس تساوي يس حاله ثانيه، اكس تساوي يس وواي تساوي يس.
ايوه بس ولكن لحال، يعني هما هذا الاكس في الميموري لحال والواي في الميموري لحال. يعني المهم ده string y يساوي x انت ربطه في نفس الاوبجكت. لو حاطط y يساوي s then yes ايوه different object. Okay, so this is the difference between the operator x and the function equals. Okay, welcome. Now let us look at about the errors. We'll talk about the errors now. Here we have two types of error. The errors in Java, we have compilation error and logical error. Compilation error is when you do some mistake in your program, what you get the red line, syntax error. That is a compilation error. For example, in our program, we missed one bracket. Here we miss one bracket. This is compilation error.
يعني هنا اذا اكس تساوي اس واي تساوي اس نحط ايكوال اكس تساوي واي اكس واي تساوي اكس نحط بلس نوت.
لا لا مو شرط انه حط هذا. هنا نشوف ايوه example is okay. but هنا بشوف ايش الايكوالز ايش وهذا ايش. ايش الفرق بين equals و equal. example صح. okay. if you are missing some bracket, it is a compilation error that you can find it through this red mark, and for the compilation error the program will not work. Okay, so if you miss a bracket, or if you write write the spelling wrong, for example you write else like this, okay, a wrong spelling, also a syntax error. For a scanner, for example, I missed the R. This is also a syntax error or a compilation error. Number one, it is a compilation error. They are called by the compiler. These are called the syntax errors. Logical error, they are not compilation error, but they are the runtime errors. When you run the program, you will find that error when you run that program. For example, let's say that you are doing division by 0 here. For example, you say int d is equal to 6.7. This is compilation error because you are assigning a double value to the integer. Compilation error. At the same time, if you do print ln and you are using comma, because when you use print ln, you use plus. Yeah. And at the same time here print ln and you are using comma. These are compilation. Logical errors, there are two logical errors, fatal and non-fatal. Logical errors comes at the time of compilation, at the time of running. Sorry, when you run the program. In a running program, there are fatal. Fatal will cause the program to fail and terminate prematurely. And non-fatal will run completely but give you some different output, some wrong output. For example, here we will see some example. For example, fatal errors, division by 0, 10 by 0. What is the value for division by 0?
غلط في الاوبريتور.
Yes, غلط في الاكسبريشن. operator صحيح ولكن division by 0 ما في. division بزيرو it is infinity.
خلاص في الفورم.
Yes, أيوة. فهي logical fatal error. For example, int k and you are using percentage f for k. Because integer here you have to use percentage d, but you use percentage f. This is also a logical error. ايوه هذا خطأ فإنه logical error. You have using print f and you are using plus here. You should use comma, right? You should use comma. So this is a fatal logical error. Non-fatal errors are those, for example, percentage d and you are using println, okay, and print f and you are not using any percentage, okay. Sorry, d is for the integers, f for float or double, okay. Yeah. So this is to just to get an idea that what are the different types of errors we have in Java. Okay, this is for your exam. You will get one question. They'll give you the code and ask you to find the error and what type of error. What type of error? What is compilation or logical or sorry, fatal or non-fatal logical? You have to write it and you have to write the correct code. Fine. Now we can also have an else without anything with just a semicolon. This is also true when there is, if you have an if else and the else part you don't have anything to write, you just put a semicolon there. It's just an information for you. Okay. Fine. There is a logical error statements here. For example, if grade is greater than or equal to 0, semicolon. Yeah, here semicolon will stop the if here. The semicolon is the end of the statement. So it will stop the if at this point. So it is a logical non-fatal error because this is true, but the output you will get is wrong. The output you will get is wrong. Here's your output here by pass. Whatever you enter grade 10, 20, 100, it will print pass. Why? Because it will check the condition and there is an end of a statement. Semicolon is end of a statement. Khalas, you will stop here and go to the next statement. It print pass. Okay. Hatta Shrin 0 pass. So this is a logical non-fatal error. Why non-fatal? Because it will print the output. Program will execute, but it will give you some wrong output. Fine. Now here it is example 2. Semicolon and there is a else. Semicolon will stop the if here, but the else is for which if then? So there is no if for this else because you stop the if here. So this is a syntax error because there is no if. Without if there is a else. Fine. So this is called a syntax error. This will give you a compilation error, for example. Compilation error. Yeah, nafsu. Syntax and compilation both are same. Fine. The next is if else. We have the next if else. If else if. And if you have more than one condition to check, for example, the student grades. If the score is less than 0, invalid score. If it is less than 60, fail. Otherwise, it is pass. So how do you check that? You will check if score less than 0, invalid score. Else, you check another condition. Else, if score less than 60, fail. Else, pass. Yeah, ممكن استخدم else if. مثلا عندكم الجريدز A B C D F فمن if it is greater than 90 and less than 100, A. Else if it is greater than 80, B. Else if it is greater than 70, C. Else if, and finally last you will have one else في الأخير في F. Yes. So you can put this else if in this fashion. No, this is if inside another if. This is if inside another if. So if score greater than 0, then you will check. If score greater than or equal to 60, pass, else fail. Else, this else is for the first if. Yeah, ما الترتيب. Yes. أنا إنه هذا if وتحت if ثاني. لا صح. ايوه. لا if score greater than 0. إذا score دخلنا score أكبر من 0، إذا صح إنه score أكبر من 0 بعدين نشوف هل هي أكبر من 60 ولا أقل من 60. إذا في الأول شرط إنه هذا مش أكبر من 0 فخلاص اكتب invalid.
بس تحت الاف في
طيب هي كفورم يعني
أيوه صح.
بس كيف يجي السؤال؟
في السؤال
كيف يجي
هو شوف ممكن يكتب بطريقة هذا أو ممكن يكتب بطريقة هذا على الطالب على البروجرامر.
بس ممكن الاختبار يجي اكثر قريب من هذا؟
لا ما يحدد في الاختبار، ما يحدد لك الطريقة انه طريقة هذا وطريقة هذا، لا بيقول لك ممكن استخدام if else، وحتى ممكن ما يقول لك استخدام if else، بيقول لك اكتب البروجرام to print the grade of the student.
هذا بقول لك find output
ممكن يجي في find output if else if أحسن. but this is just an arrangements. okay مثلا هنا score less than 0 or score greater than 100 invalid score, else if score less than 60 fail, else pass. The second code for the same is if score is greater than equal to 0 and less than 100, then you check for it is greater than 60 or not. Okay, if it is greater than 60 pass, else fail. And in the first condition itself it is false, no need to check this condition again, so directly come out and say invalid. Okay, listen. Fine. So here what the operators were used here, and or operator, these are logical operators. Okay, so here you have in Java logical operators and or, boolean and or, and the not operator. Okay, so mostly in your programs what you are going to use this and or and not, and or and not. This is the double pipelines and double ampersand and the not, which is this one, and the not. Fine. So these are given here, the conditional and conditional are and this truth table. I think you have studied this. Okay, for and if both the condition are true, it is true. Okay, and both, yeah, for other are false, it is false. Right. So this is just to give you information about this and or. Fine, you have a not. Yeah, not is just opposite. Okay, or a negation. If it is false, it is true, and if it is true, it is false. Yeah. No, it will not come like this. It will come in the code. ما في مشكلة. Fine, you will get this question in your multiple choice. This De Morgan's law. De Morgan's law says that not of condition 1 and condition 2 is equal to not of condition 1 or not of condition 2. Yeah, that is you are taking not inside, the and will become or, and you add a not for both. And the opposite not of condition 1 or condition 2 is not of condition 1 and condition 2. So or will become and along with the not. Okay, this is De Morgan's law. They will give you in the multiple choice. They will give, for example, they will give you this statement, and they will give you the choice for these three statements. For example, which of this one is correct, is equal. Okay. We also have a problem here called dangling else problem. Dangling else problem is when there are two if and one else. When there are two if statement, if and another if, and there is only one else after that, this is called dangling else problem. What happens in dangling else is that the else is given to the first if, I mean the nearest if. Okay, the first if will not count for this else is the first if is counted as without else. Yeah, without else, because there is only one else. This else is counted for the nearest if. Hmm. X is less than 5, so it will not do anything, it will just come out because there is no else for the first if. Okay, so it will not do there anything, it will just come out.
لازم and if and
No, لازم else ثاني، ممكن أزيد else ثاني هنا لهذا if.
بس لو هيك صح يعني.
ايوه صح كذا صح، ولكن البروبلم هنا ايش؟ شوف هنا القصد الكود here. What is the intention of the code is that if x is greater than 5, then you check y greater than 5, then you print x and y is greater than 5, else x is less than or equal to 5. But what happens is this else is related to the first if only, which is not to the sorry the nearest if, not to the first if. Okay, this problem is called as an dangling else problem. So in this case, what you have to do, if you want to make this else for the first if, you have to put that the first the block after the if in a bracket. When you put this in a bracket, so this will be inside the bracket, and this else now will be the first if. Okay, to solve this dangling problem, we use this if else. Fine. This is if else if ladder, as we talk. Yeah, if till we have the last if. You have this small program. If grade score greater than 90, grade A, else if greater than 80, grade B, and so on, and finally you have grade F in the last else. Okay.
يعني نحط فوق الاف او فوق نحط اف واخر اف.
ايوه اخر else.
يعني مثلا اذا حط اي رقم ناقص مثلا ماينس 14.
ايوه ممكن حتى الكونديشن فوق واخر else يعني else خلي هذا في البراكتس وخلي else برا البراكتس. ايوه ممكن. Or you can check one more condition. If it is less than 0, invalid input. Okay. Switch. Now switch is also a multiple selection based on a constant value. Here the selection is done based on true or false, right? But switch is based on a value 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, D, or welcome, whatever the value is. For example, here let us say that we need a program to print the name of the day. Given is the number of the day. So it will ask you first enter the day number between 1 and 7. So you will take that into a variable day. Switch of day, that is switch of the value what you enter. And this switch usually has the cases, case 1, case 2, case 3, or case A, case B, case D. The type of cases here, it is integer 1, 2, 3, 4, should match the type of expression here. Salam. ايوه تفضل، عندك ايش محاضرة؟ 105 ولا 150؟ هي 150 اصلا في الاسبوع الزوجي والفردي، هذا وهذا اسبوع الفردي. الأخبط الاسبوع الماضي ما كنت ما كان جاء، انت ما جاء صح؟
الا جيت بس قالوا لي الاسبوع هذا. كمان المره اللي فاتت اجوا كثير.
الاسبوع الماضي ما كان محاضرة.
لا قبل كمان اجى
مو قبل هذا، اللي قبله.
قبل
الاسبوع اللي فات اخذنا 150.
لا جيت الاسبوع اللي فات يوم الاحد.
لا يوم الأحد، هذا مش يوم الأحد يا شيخ. يوم الأحد المحاضرة متى؟ يوم الأحد ولا؟
لا يوم الاحد عندي كمبيوتر 105.
150 ايه؟ ايوه.
ويوم الاثنين عندي ثاني الجبر.
ايوه. وهذا انت جيت اليوم حق ليش؟
الجبر.
الجبرة اليوم؟ اليوم ما في الجبرة.
يوم 32 ما بعرف في واحد كانت يوم الاحد اجلوها يوم الاربعاء. 31 لا
32. طيب اقول لك شيء، انت بس شوف الجدول، اوكي، وانتظر لي شويه بس 10 دقائق وانا اجي اشوف الجدول حقي. لا خلاص انتظر شويه، انا نخلص المحاضره واجي. 105 105 هذا محاضره، خلاص اجلس. اوكي. فالسويتش will compare the switch, the the type of the value of the day should be equal to the type of these case values. And as the day integer, it means the case values are also integer. If the day is character, the case values are also character. If it is a string, the case values are also string. So here the day is an integer, we enter the day and we'll check if case 1. So if you enter 1 here, so case 1 is match. When there is a case match, it will execute the statement in that case, Saturday, and there is a break. Break, what it will do, after executing this statement, break will break the switch and come out of the switch, that is out of this switch block here. Okay. For example, if you don't write the break here, what will happen? It will go to the next case and execute the statement. Yeah, Sunday, Monday, until it find the break. Once it find the break, it will break the switch and come out. If there is no break, it will print all the statements from the matching case. For example, you enter 3. 3, it will go to the case 3 and it will print Monday, and if there is a break, it will break, come out. If there is no break, it will go and print Tuesday, check for break. If there is a break, it will break and come out. If there is no break, it will go for next. So break is required to break every case. Break is required to break the case. So it will break the case and come out of the switch. Fine. What about default? Fine. Default, if there is no case is match, if the value is entered is not 1 to 7, 8, 9, 10, it will go to the default and say what is there in the default. Default, you can include a break in the default, or if you don't include, both are same, because it is the last statement. عادي. default ما يحتاج بريك، وإذا لو حطيت البريك ما في مشكلة. أصلا ما يحتاج البريك لأنه هي آخر statement، فيخرج بعد الديفولت هيخرج من السويتش. Okay. So these are the case labels and the breaks. Fine. About the switch, this is the UML for the switch. Okay, so it will check the cases, case action and the break. Now what you have to do, if you have more than one statement in one case, what do you have to do? أنا عندي 2 statements، 2 system dot out dot println في واحد case، فايش نسوي؟ لا أنا عندي 2 statement، مثلا case 1 system dot out dot println Saturday، وأنا أبغى statement ثاني كمان يثبت مثلا thank you، أو مثلا Saturday is holiday، something like this. شيل البريك، حط فين؟ حط بدل، ايوه مكان البريك اكتب system dot out println ثاني وبعدين حط بريك. يعني any number of statement بعد السيميكولن ازيد الستيتمنت، بس ولكن في الاخير ازيد البريك، هيكون بريك في الاخير. ايوه واحد ثاني system dot out. لا ما هذا زائد ولا شيء. بعد السيميكولن اكتب system dot out println today is holiday، بعدين اكتب بريك. نفس الشيء Sunday، بعد هذا اكتب today is working day break. Okay. So if you want more than one statement in one case, you just go on after semicolon write the next statement. Fine. Finally, this is the UML diagram for that. Character constants. See in the switch you can use, as I told, you can use any value. You can use character, you can use integer, you can use a string, you can use double. Yeah, first one we use integer value. In our example we use what? Integer. Day is integer, right? Like this we have another example here. City might be a string. Yeah, case minor or case Marlborough or case, Birmingham. So it depends. If it is a string variable, you have the cases with a string. If it is an integer variable, you have the cases with integers.
المستخدم هيدخل اسم السيتي.
المستخدم هيدخل اسم السيتي وحسب الاسم السيتي هياخد zip code. Okay, so this is all what we have for your meeting number 3. Fine. So as a summary, in meeting number 3 we had they start with the what we have start with algorithms and flowchart. Yeah, algorithms and the flowchart and how to write the algorithm, and from the algorithm how to write the program. And then we move to control statement. In control statement we have the selection and repetition. In selection we have if else, if, the ternary operator or the conditional operator, question mark and colon, and switch. And in repetition we have looping, for, while, do, while, that we will take in the next meeting. Okay, and in between we saw some operators like increment and decrement, plus plus minus minus operator, pre-increment, post-increment. We saw some mathematical functions like square root, power, seal, floor, and how to write a mathematical formula in Java statement. These are things we will get in your exam. Okay, and we saw some relational operators and conditional operators. Relational operators like equal, not equal, less than, greater than, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, and the logical operators and, or, not. Fine. So this is all what you have for the meeting 3. Inshallah, till meeting 3 you have for your midterm exam. Okay. Yeah. آخر شيء. محاضرات الأسبوع ما في محاضرة، الأسبوع الجاي، الأسبوع اللي بعده إجازة وبعده اختبار.
بنسوي قبل الاجازه اكسترا كلاس عشان ريفيجن.
ما يبغى ريفيجن إن شاء الله ممكن نقدر نساوي في أسبوع قبل الأسبوع الإجازة. أنا الأسبوع الجاي ممكن أعمل فيها ريفيجن، بس أخذ الموك إكزام ونشوف كيف نحل الاختبار. أوكي. لا إن شاء الله اختبار ما يكون صعب إن شاء الله. لا، في برنامج كثير مو بس واحد.
دكتور ايش نقدر نسوي عشان مشكله الاختبارات؟ مادتين في نفس اليوم، تبي 215
نفس الوقت ولا؟
بيناتهم نص ساعه.
لا تصير كثير. اهم شيء نفس الوقت.
ماده 8 ساعات يا دكتور، ما هي ماده 3 ساعات.
والله
اهم شيء نفس الوقت.
الفصل اللي فات صار اثنين هيك سووا ورا بعض، يعني اخذت الواحده فيها سي واخذت واحده فيها بي بلس.
I cannot help يعني